If you look historically at the Reagan tax cut, the Bush tax cut, and now the Trump tax cut, what's interesting is that in the first two cases, every single House Republican voted in favor of those bills. The Trump tax cut, however, it was kind of interesting, is that there was a dozen House Republicans who voted no. 11 were concentrated in states, New Jersey, California, and New York, and the reason is because of one aspect of the bill which has not gone into effect yet, really, which is the cap on state and local tax deduction, which Mr. Moore giddily described as death to Democrats in the lead up to the vote, which I'm sure those Republicans from those states would sort of ask themselves, what am I, chopped liver? And as well as Governor Baker from Massachusetts. You know, Dr. Spriggs, you did actually focus on this on page 7 of your testimony about the fact that, you know, this shoe is going to start dropping with the next tax filing in 2018, where a lot of middle-class families, and frankly, it isn't just blue states, Mr. Moore, it's going to impact states all across the country, are suddenly going to be in a totally, you know, no-win situation in terms of you know, how you pay for basic fundamental services like public schools, public safety, transportation, infrastructure, et cetera, which again, a large portion of that is paid for by state and local governments. So when we talk about the skills gap, the biggest vehicle is still the public school system and the career and technical schools, which again, I would say, yes, apprenticeships. I can take you up to Electric Boat in Connecticut and show how successful that's going. But frankly, we need to go deeper into the tech schools and invest there. But the bulk of that is going to come from state governments and local governments. So Dr. Spriggs, could you talk about, again, that shoe, which is still not dropped yet, in terms of capping and crippling and handcuffing the ability of state and local governments to deal with labor market issues with education and job training?
Thank you very much, Congressman Courtney, because that is the big gap that we have experienced. We have done the things to restore business dynamism. Businesses have been created because we took a more balanced approach in terms of who benefited from the Recovery Act, the ARA Recovery Act, and you need balanced income growth to generate the most number of customers, and that's what gets you business creation. But we didn't do the job in restoring public investment. And you're exactly right. It's not just the blue states. We saw teachers in Oklahoma and West Virginia. These are very much red states. Walk out because they have had their schools starved for the necessary investment, and they've seen their pupil-teacher ratios go up and up and up, and they can't do their jobs effectively. We are down over 120,000 teachers just to get back to where we were in 2008, and then you have to think about the growth in the student population. We probably need close to another 200,000 local school teachers, and you're exactly right. The states that have been squeezing on public education the most are now going to find how do they catch up with the tax bill that is going to force them to double tax their citizens. And it's that double taxation that creates the bind for the state and local governments, and it will, in many voters' eyes, appear to be unfair. Why am I paying taxes twice just to get the necessary things for my child to get educated? If I'm an employer for the workforce, I want to be educated. We have never in the history of the United States had this massive deinvestment in K through 12. We are moving against the trend globally where everyone else is increasing their investment in education, and this is just going to make it that much more difficult.